CDT update. Just left Pinedale, coming back up into the winds. More lakes. Apparently there's about 1,300 lakes in the Bridger Wilderness area, which is the area we just went through. There's way more than that in the winds, so tons of lakes. Mosquitoes were pretty heavy the other day as we were going into Pinedale. It was a cool town. It is expensive because it's like a gateway town over to Teton and Yellowstone, so it's kind of the last stop for people. It's got a really expensive grocery store. It does have a Dollar General though, which it's one of my favorite places. Some of you might know. So it's all compact. It's all within like a mile. The only thing about Pinedale is it's way off trail, so do like 10 to 15 miles just to get down somewhere to get picked up. So you're adding a lot of mileage to get down there. There's a nice trail angel that picked us up, took us back to trail that we're camping out there for the summer. Super nice people. So if you're on this section, check far out comments. There are people that'll pick you up. Trailhead at Elkhart was surprisingly busy, so probably not too bad to get a hitch. There was a paved road all the way up to it from Pinedale. That surprised me a little bit because there's nothing out here. I think roads are actually illegal in this area. There's not many dirt roads or access points, which is great for the hiking because it keeps the winds wild. But yeah, you could also skip Pinedale. You could do the high route. There's several different routes through the winds you could do, but you have a huge food carry. It'd be like 6+ days of food. It's kind of hard with a bear bag or bear can because we are in grizzly country at this point, so that would be the only negative to that. But Pinedale's got everything you need. There is the Jackalope hostel there. The bubbles kind of caught back up with us, so it was full, but split a hotel room. The hotels were expensive. For what you get, they were expensive. It's also kind of hard to find air conditioning in some of the hotels. I guess Wyoming just doesn't do a lot of air conditioning. Not something I had actually thought about. So you kind of got to look and make sure they offer AC because the air is so hot and dry. I guess it's not very efficient, is my understanding. So a lot of the older buildings just don't have it. Yeah, Pinedale, super cool. Nice group of trail angels there. The gear store was amazing. I actually broke my belt, had to go down and get a clip. He pretty much had everything thru hiker could want. I think it was called the Great Outdoors. But yeah, shout out to the gear shop in Pinedale. They're doing it right. One of the better gear shops I've been to on any trail, especially for a smaller town. It's only like a mile long. Really well stocked, but it was a nice stop. Took a zero there. Kind of needed it after doing the Cirque of the Towers, which is absolutely incredible. Hit the Cirque if you can. I mean, if you get storms or snow through that area, I could see it being a problem, but absolutely amazing area. One of the most beautiful areas I've ever hiked in, period. So hit Cirque of the Towers. It does add a lot of elevation and climbing. Mileage is relatively the same. You'll just be doing a lot more climbing. So planning for a little more food. There's beautiful lakes to camp down there. The peaks and views, absolutely stunning. Yeah, I'd recommend Pinedale. It does add a decent amount of mileage to your hike, but it is what it is. Lots of alts and stuff kind of mess with the mileage on this trail anyway, so adding another 20 or 30 at this point was worth it to me. So that's my update from this area. Back into the Granite Mountains. We're about 2 miles from the red line on Seneca Lake Trail, so still haven't made it up. It's a few hours hike back up to the trail. So going to Pinedale, highly recommend it. Absolutely do Cirque of the Towers. Stunning area. The winds are amazing. Hoping it doesn't rain too much. We did get a few really bad storms the other day, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the mosquitoes will leave me alone, die down a little bit. I think it's peak season. I'm gonna get back to hiking. Wind River Range keeps on going. Absolutely amazing place. CDT update. I am in Yellowstone National Park. So that's cool. Walking next to the Snake River. We camped about a mile outside of the park, right at a mile. Walked in this morning. So that was exciting. Lots of wildflowers everywhere. The blooms on this trail have been amazing. Kind of followed them north. So yeah, it's been real pretty so far. Walking along the Snake River, seeing the gorges, seeing all the wildflowers. It's really pretty. Nice day for hiking. It's a little overcast now, but we kind of had to stop before we got in because you do need an itinerary to walk into the park for the backcountry sites. So we have our schedule for the next few days where I need to stop. Then you have the bear hang situation. You do need rope apparently. I didn't know that. I actually had rope. You do need rope. Hang your bags. But it's exciting. I'm in Yellowstone. We'll walk past Old Faithful in a couple of days. So that's cool. It'll be interesting to be in the middle of so many tourists after being in the middle of the woods. Du Bois was super cool. That was a nice little town. Sort of hard to get into sometimes. Some people had good luck with hitching. We had a guy take us down like 10 miles or so. And then a guide from the Tetons, works in the Tetons, going to Du Bois, picked us up there. Not a lot there, but sort of the story of Wyoming. The towns are tiny. Not many people here in general, but the winds were super beautiful. Really loving it. Yeah, Wyoming has been absolutely gorgeous, especially Northwest Wyoming. One of my favorite places that I've personally ever hiked. Wind River Range, Circuit of the Towers, absolutely incredible. Can't really recommend it enough. It's definitely somewhere I would take a trip back to just to see. We'll see how Yellowstone goes, but yeah, Du Bois is a little on the pricier side because it's a town where it's the last stop before people go to Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons. It does have some cool history, like you see a lot of stuff about Butch Cassidy. He owned a ranch right outside of town and shopped at the general store. The big thing there. The myth of the jackalopes, a big thing there. Interesting little town. It's one of those little towns that you probably only stop in if you needed a break while driving to Yellowstone or the Tetons, or if you're on the CDT. So cool stop, had everything you needed. The grocery store is a little expensive, but it did have a dollar store, so you get away with the resupply there. I did get a box, which I would still probably suggest getting a resupply box there. Everything's within like a mile walk. I actually stayed at the church there. Church has a donation-based hostel. It was really nice. They had a community room. It was nice to get the hostel vibes. There's not a lot of hostel stays on this trail, I think I mentioned before, but it was nice to stay at one. We were kind of in the bubble, so it was nice to see all the other faces in town. Actually went bowling, which is kind of funny doing that on trail, but it was fun. There was like a dozen of us just at the bowling alley, plus more in town, so really in the thick of the bubble, at least for the CDT. That's a large bubble when you can get 12 or 15 people in one place. But it was a lot of fun seeing all the hikers. A few bikers stopped by the church hostel too. Really enjoyed them doing that. It was a great space, so shout out to the Du Bois Episcopal Church for hosting that. Yeah, it was nice. But gonna enjoy Yellowstone, see the geysers, do all the touristy stuff. You walk right by it, the trail goes right by it. So excited to do that. Maybe I'll do a little update from around Old Faithful, walking through this nice lush forest. I'm gonna get back to hiking. Update. I'm in Idaho. Wyoming was beautiful. Went through Yellowstone, getting towards the edge of the park now. Technically ends in Idaho. Then cross over into Montana today. So status update on location. Yellowstone was super cool. Got to watch Old Faithful. Ton of tourists there, of course, but as we hiked up towards Old Faithful, there was a ton of geysers off the side of the trail that people don't get out there. So had those to ourselves. That was really cool. Did the boardwalk out. Ton of geysers, tons of pools. Yellowstone, absolutely amazing. Peak wildflowers right now. So yeah, loved it. Absolutely beautiful section. Hit Old Faithful Village. Didn't stay there. I mean, it's like $500 to $800 a night or something. So definitely didn't get a room there, but you could take a shower there. They had some nice showers that they let us use for free. Hit a buffet in the lodge, which is kind of funny because it's pretty nice place. They kind of stuck us in the corner, which is to be expected. Probably how we like it, but we had a nice group of hikers there eating the buffet. Really great stop. We had a pretty chill day into there, just a few miles from our campground. We were at our last designated campground last night. Yeah, really loved Old Faithful Village. I always wanted to go to Yellowstone. It was cool getting to walk to it instead of just drive to it, because traffic was a nightmare. It's definitely somewhere I would go back to in a car. I mean, it's worth it just to see everything, see Old Faithful, you know, do the touristy stuff. But as you walk through, you get to see a lot of stuff people won't, because it takes a lot of miles to walk out to. So that was probably my favorite part, to be honest, was all the geysers we just got to ourselves, which was really amazing. But boardwalk's still cool. Definitely worth hitting the visitor center, Old Faithful area, regardless, if you ever come to Wyoming. Loved it. Really loving this section. Hit Idaho, Montana, kind of walk across the border. Yeah, it's an update. Old Faithful was good. I would send a box there. Would say that's an important point. Very expensive stuff there. I mean, it's all tourist shops. It's not built out for anything other than tourists. So it's like $5 for a tuna packet, which is absolutely absurd. The only thing affordable there, ironically, is alcohol. I'm not drinking, so didn't do me any good. But sent a box there. Lady at the post office loved the hikers, so she was really chill. Cool place. Recommend Old Faithful. You gotta hit it. Hit the buffet. Send a box there. Loving Yellowstone. Have an update from Montana, Idaho soon. Let me get back to hiking.